Hey there guys, it's Kage Tac coming at you, and I wanted to get this video out and talk about this before I went to the gym, started my weekend, everything, and there's two caveats I want to throw here before, or put out there before I go about this. Is one, this is my first time really looking at these numbers in terms of what I'm going to show you and talk about today, and two, this is also during a time where nothing has changed in Guild War, and there's currently a lot going on with the system. Now, you may be asking, what exactly are we going to be talking about today? And that is Guild War participation as a whole. And it came up on the Discord, and somebody was like, well, I'm kind of curious to see what the numbers were before, because, I think everybody shifted from one battlefield to another, this one guy on there, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Let me see if I could find something. And I found a screenshot from August 23rd, and I'm West Coast, so it'd be 24th for some of you guys potentially where you may live in the world, but let's bring it up here. Now, this was from August 24th. It's got almost 5k guilds participating in level 1, 1452 in level 2, 621 in level 3, 189 in level 4, and 107 in level 5. Now, as it stands right now, we have 10 hours and 4 minutes until war. So let's take a look and do a side-by-side comparison and see where we are with the numbers for this war. Oh, wrong one. Okay, there we go. So as you can see here, there's 70 guilds in level 5, 179 in level 4, 595 in level 3, 1407 in level 2, and the biggest drop of them all is there's only 347 guilds in level 1. And this is, this is a pretty big drop. This is about almost 2,000 guilds as of recording this that for whatever reason have not decided to participate at all, and they've obviously checked that do not participate box. And the question is, why? Is it because of everything else going on in the game? Is it because there hasn't been anything new with war and people aren't really interested? Is it the rewards in war? Is it even the structure and how the matchmaking is set up? Because let's face it here, there are certain guilds, certain juggernauts in each division here. If you run into one of those juggernauts, you're going to get steamrolled. In level 5, we all know who that is. Level 4, we all know who that is. Level 3, I'm not too sure of. Level 2 has several of us. I can, Rogue Traders is up there. They will raffle stomp you. My guild will raffle stomp you. And I'm sure there's a couple other high-end level 2 guilds. Level 1, I don't know the players there, but it's one of those things where, I don't know, are people just getting absolutely decimated from either picking the wrong battlefield and just it's demoralized their guild and they've lost people, or are these rewards just not appealing in any extent for a good portion of the player base where they've got a lot going on with survival, the HRE, the character quest right now as well, and it's just like, well, what do you do in that case? Like, what's going to be the thing that kind of gives? And for, again, almost 2,000 guilds, they have clearly decided to not participate. And I'm going to keep a close eye on this for next season as well to see if a similar situation happens. But that's just weird. And it's not like the player base has dwindled, because there's plenty of people playing survival mode. There's plenty of people playing the HRE. So that that would have been something I would have went to as like, okay, well, maybe we lost a lot of players to Space Marines 2 or something else. But no, people are playing the other modes. They've made a clear they've made it very clear they're playing those other modes. Like, I know where I'm ranked in some of these, and yeah, there's definitely people playing. So, and just kind of like pooling the general consensus of some of the players on the Discord, it's Guild Wars is kind of almost as hated as the tournament arena to some extent. Which, damn, you know that's. But then again, I like this mode because I don't overreach with my guild. We are well organized, we are very coordinated, and we just completely decimate and destroy any and all opponents we have gone against for the last several seasons now. Mind you, season 1 we did get humbled when we were down a man, and I made sure that we would never be down a man again ever in this mode, and we are always at full capacity, as you can see here with the 30-30. But I am really curious what you guys think this could be attributed to. Is it just a crazy schedule? Is it just demoralizing for some guilds where, because let's face it, if you have, let's say you're even down like one or two people and you're fighting a semi-competent guild, your chances of victory are gone. They're very slim. If the guild doesn't know what they're doing, if they're just attacking all over the place, you got a good chance to rebound and take a win from them. But if they know what they're doing, you're in trouble. Like, because that is a huge deficit. You know, taking somebody out of the equation, and also they end up with default defenders. So for their spot, wherever that spot may be on the map, could it be in the front? Could it be in the back? It's just you've made it to where somebody is going to do a one-to-one conversion on that spot, and that's you want to slow people down. You want them to use up tokens. They're not wasting 2 tokens on a bot defense 9 times out of 10. Now, heck, 9.9 times out of 10. You know, there's these weird one-offs where I guess things could happen and they might lose, but those are probably few and far between. So yeah, I am very curious what you guys think on this. Again, is it attributed to nothing changing with Guild Wars and everything else going on? Is it just the system and structure as it is? Because it's not really rewarding to want to move up to the next battlefield at all. And there's like no reason to do that in a lot of these cases. Like when they made the change for Battlefield 2 to not have Diamond 3 units, we were like, okay, we'll go do that. And if they, restructured things a bit more with level 3, we would jump up there. But we're not looking to jump into the frying pan and deal with all that noise. Which, looking here, if there are any little guilds in level 5, you guys are in some real trouble. Like, I would quickly get out of there as fast as possible, because the less amount of guilds in there, the more likely you are to have a pretty bad mismatch. So I'd be very careful on if you were some guild who definitely doesn't belong there, and you guys know who you are at this point. I mean, if you're like a 30 mil to even, I wouldn't even go in there at 100 mil for level 5. I'm not crazy, but you guys could be in some real trouble. Level 4, there's at least a little bit of padding, and level 3, there's a good amount where you can hide in, and as long as you aren't like super low on the threshold, I don't see you guys getting a mismatch. But again, it can happen. If the system can't pull somebody similar to your power, or there isn't an eligible target, you could end up with the worst time of your life fighting somebody on the higher echelon of that battlefield and just getting completely decimated. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is normal, to be honest. This could have been like this for the first round of the previous season. This is kind of like my first time having an actual screenshot and going back and comparing. So we will see how these numbers fluctuate, if they go up or if they go down for battle number 2. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. But other than that, I don't really have too much else to add for the current Guild Wars situation. Just that, almost 2,000 guilds opted to just completely avoid this mode. And not all of them are going to be filled with 30 people in them, but even if like an average was like 10 players, we took the average and said like 10 players per, that's a crazy amount of people who aren't getting into this mode right now, and that should tell Snowprint that something needs to be done. I think the reward system needs to be looked at for what can be bought in the shop, and I also think that the rewards for going to a higher tier should kind of make more sense. I mean, there's no point to risk yourself or push if the only thing you're risking for is maybe, and I say maybe, I could get 500 more tokens, 600 more tokens, maybe even 800 more tokens on a top end if I go up to the next tier of Battlefield, and that's for the entire season, assuming I still win everything, or I win everything but one. It's crazy. They need to look at this a little bit more and reevaluate, because the system and the structure, it rewards you if you play to your cap, and it also rewards you if you're able to kind of be in a sweet spot for an enlistment power for a particular bracket. What that number is for each bracket, I couldn't tell you. I'd have no idea. I mean, but I've definitely seen some guilds that most likely were at the super low end, and they paid the price for trying to play way outside of their reach. So it's something you kind of have to look on the Discord, get a feel for where guilds are and what they're fighting. I mean, for level 1 and 2, it doesn't really matter too much because there's plenty of participants. You're not going to have a super mismatch. Like, even of all the fights we've done in 2, I think our highest mismatch was like 7 mil power. That was it. Yeah, so anyway, again, I'm curious to see what you guys think of all this. Is this a good sign? Does this mean that we're going to have some real change to the mode in terms of everything? Or is this just kind of like going to progressively get worse? And, because again, I've played a lot of these games. They can make some changes, and those changes could be countered by savvy players like myself. I may look at the system, I may see a new type of vulnerability, and I may use that vulnerability to my advantage. Because again, I'm not looking to be challenged here. I've got survival mode for that, and survival mode just beat me silly with my under-leveled Ultramarines. It just completely beat me silly, and I am curious to see if the next one I'll at least have some better units that I can play with that I'm more familiar with and I actually, potentially care about, and see if I can push myself in that mode. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And again, I'm always curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. And if you are a guild that did sit out, I am curious to hear from you as to why. Like, to even skip some of these rewards and just go through the motions and at least get something for your guys. Why you decided to just be like, nope, not doing this at all. Anyway, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.